New York Christmas near, and all Neville wants is to get home to Barbados. However, this was before the lectures, before the fame. He wasn't the mystic yet. He was a dancer in New York, restless, wanting to spend time with family at Christmas. But he had no money, no ticket, no hope. Neville sought out ways to get home. A name was whispered that could help. A man who carried the code of manifestation, Abdullah, a mystic who could bend reality, sending you home without a ticket or a dime. Neville found him. He told Abdullah about his wish to go to Barbados for Christmas. "You are already in Barbados," Abdullah said. "You went first class." Imagine hearing that when you're broke, not even knowing how rent is getting paid. And this man tells you you're already walking around in Barbados. Absurd. And yet something in Abdullah's voice made it impossible to dismiss. "Fall asleep each night imagining you are already there," he told Neville. "Walk the streets in your mind. Smell the salt of the sea. Live from the state of the wish fulfilled." Neville obeyed. He tried. But a week passed. Nothing changed. No letter, no money, no ticket. Have you ever felt that? You do exactly what you're told and still nothing manifests. Neville returned to Abdullah, anxious, ready to explain why it couldn't work. But Abdullah didn't comfort him, didn't argue, didn't even answer. He simply turned, walked into his library, and with one brutal motion, slam, the door slammed shut. But the gust that followed felt like a Barbados breeze. And in that silence, Neville had his answer. It felt harsh, but later he understood. Abdullah wasn't slamming the door on him. He was slamming it on doubt, on hesitation. If you are in Barbados, you cannot discuss the means of getting to Barbados. Once you assume, it is done. You don't explain, you don't negotiate, you don't peek to see if it's working. You shut the door. Neville would later write, "To assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled is to close the door against all other states. With your desire defined, quietly go within and shut the door behind you. Lose yourself in your desire. Remain in this fixation until you absorb the life of that which you desired." Neville shut the door on every doubt. On the surface, nothing had changed, but within, the state was sealed. And when the state is sealed, the world has no choice but to obey. Then a letter came, money from his long-lost brother, a ticket to Barbados, third class. Neville's heart lifted. Finally, proof. But when he showed Abdullah, expecting approval, Abdullah shook his head. "You went to Barbados first class." Neville smiled politely. The ticket in his hand said third class. That is, until he reached the shipping office. The clerk tore it up. Third class was full, and in its place, he handed Neville a first-class ticket. As the ship pulled away, Neville realized the slam of the door had opened the world. In that moment, Neville knew doors do not close on men.